How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about the brand new character that's come out in version 1.4, and that is going to be Harumasa. My bad, I pitched the wrong scene. But Harumasa is here as a free S rank. You straight up get him as soon as you log into the game. No missions, no restrictions, no challenges, none of that. He just straight up put into your account. Of course, everyone is currently building Miyabi, putting all the resources toward Miyabi. It makes 100% sense. We've all been waiting for her, but a lot of people are wondering, is Harumasa worth putting on that list of characters that you should be building? And I, without a doubt, want to say yes. You should definitely be building Harumasa because he does a crap ton of damage, especially when you start understanding how to use his passive skills, being able to build up his crit rate and crit damage. And not only that, being able to abuse him being on certain teams with stun or anomaly characters, which is going to be a unique team passive. This is the first time a character has needed two roles or has two roles to choose from when it comes to pairing him up with another character. Usually it's an element or a faction or something in between, and now we have a character that has two roles. So this is really cool. It makes it really easy to make a more creative team with Harumasa, and you get a massive bonus from playing around with the stun or anomaly characters because he gets a crazy 40% damage bonus when you end up using an attribute anomaly or you end up hitting a stunned enemy, which plays into his playstyle so very well. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about Harumasa and how to exactly play him. Sadly, I haven't been able to invest into mine, but in this video we're going to talk about how to play him because I did get the chance to play around with them in the content creator experience server, so I 100% understand how to use him and how to get the most out of his gameplay, because man, is he fun when you understand how to play him. So the way Harumasa works is that he is going to be spawning in these arrows that you see pop out of the ground, and these arrows are going to allow him to pick up and dash towards an enemy. Every set of 2 is going to count as 1 dash attack up to a max of 3 dash attacks. So if we use our skill here, that is going to be 6 that pop out of the ground, and that is going to be 3 dash attacks. The dash in, the other 2 dash attacks afterwards. Now there are going to be certain ways you are going to be spawning in these arrows, and I'm going to go from the least amount of arrows to the most amount of arrows. The first way is going to be from hitting your 5th basic attack. This almost is never going to be used when it comes to spawning in arrows, because being able to spam the 5th basic attack, getting into the full 6 arrows that you need to get the max amount of dash attacks, yeah, you're not only not building up his crit rate and crit damage, but you're also not helping him out in getting the most amount of damage done in the shortest amount of time. So the other ways we're going to be doing it is going to be as follows. Using his skill is going to spawn in a full 6 pair, and that's going to allow you to do the full 3 dash attacks. Not only that, he also has the opportunity to do, of course, from that attribute anomaly that we saw in the team passive, causing an attribute anomaly will give him the full 6 as well. So that's going to be one way you can spawn in another full 6. Another way of spawning them in is by letting Harumasa use his chain attack. Letting Harumasa use his chain attack spawns in another full 6. And then after said chain attack, which you get your full 6 from, you're also going to be allowing your 5th basic attack to also spawn in the full 6. So you only ever want to use this 5th basic attack after you've already done your chain attack. That way you're able to spawn in the full 6 arrows out of the ground, and you're able to go ahead and do those full 3. So those are the ways that you are going to be throwing out all those arrows to be able to get as much damage from Harumasa as possible. Now, of course, the main way you want to get as much damage from him is by being able to string in a multiple of these options in spawning in these arrows and getting him to the full 6 stacks that you can when dashing in. So this means, let's say if we use Yanagi to go ahead and get that attribute anomaly a little bit higher, which I don't want to fully proc, which I ended up doing, you get the full 6 here. So being able to get the full 6, what does that mean? 3 dash attacks, and then use your skill. That's another 6. So that's another 3 dash attacks. So you're doing a crap ton of extra damage from doing so, and it only gets more absurd as you string more of these together. Because if you look at it, from being able to use the attribute anomalies to the chain attacks, there's a possibility that you get around like 4 different ways of being able to bring in 6 arrows all in a short span. Let's see if we can try our best to get that done. It is a little bit hard to get this to be fine-tuned, but with the amount of enemies you will be fighting in the Shiyu defenses, also the same way inside the Hollow Zero, you're going to have a lot of chances to be able to spawn in these arrows, just because everybody that ends up giving an attribute anomaly Anybody that ends up allowing you to use your chain attack with Harumasa, that's another 6 arrows. So you're going to be able to spam dash attacks non-stop if you're fighting multiple enemies, and it can even be done as well if you're fighting a single enemy, because you will be putting all your resources when it comes to the attribute anomaly, when it comes to stunning enemies, and also using Harumasa's own skill as well from being able to spawn in all of those. Now it does suck because not only is the stun bar and also the attribute anomaly bar going to conflict with each other, because there's only allowed 6 arrows up at one time. So as you can see here, if we go in and spawn in the attribute anomaly, that is going to be the full 6, and that's going to be automatically used as soon as we dash in, go into a chain attack, and you see the arrows get disappeared, which sucks. But what we can do here is, remember, chain attack, full 6. So we spawn in the dash attacks, we go into the 5th basic attack, that's another 6 because we did it after the chain attack, and then you can go into your skill, another 6. This is the main game plan you kind of want to play with Harumasa, in trying to string in as many ways to spawn in those arrows as possible, being able to do a crazy amount of damage all at once. Now, you're not going to sadly see a crap ton of damage in this live showcase, but I do have a little bit of footage that showcases him being able to be used on the battlefield, which is really cool to see how much damage he can put out, especially when you're playing with certain teams. Now, talking about certain teams, it is going to change depending on how you have your team. If you're using someone like Yanagi, being able to force disorders is going to help quite a bit, because remember, anytime an attribute anomaly happens, you get 6 arrows. So it's going to help you out in spawning in as many as possible, giving you multiple chances to be able to dash in and start doing damage. Other ways to be able to rock with this character or work with him is being able to use characters that have passive anomaly bonuses, like someone like Bernice. Being able to use her off-field anomaly buildup will help out Harumasa as well, because of one of his better teammates, which is going to be Chingy, of course. Of course, it can be changed for someone like Ambi, who's the free-to-play equivalent, but we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of Bernice's fire attribute anomaly. And of course, this is where it gets really fun. You're stunning with someone like Chingy, getting the stun bar up. Guess what? That's an attribute anomaly with burn. You can do the dash attacks. Then we can use the skill. That's another 6 stack. And guess what? We also have Chingy coming back in. Harumasa does his chain attack. That is another 6 stacks. And then we go into the basic. That's another 6 stacks. And then the attribute anomaly is coming up. Another 6 stacks. So you can see it gets really absurd if things start lining up. And of course, I think Bernice is probably one of the better teammates to be able to spam as many attribute anomalies as possible, but you can force those as well with someone like Yanagi, or working with characters like Chingy and also Anbi to be able to help out with getting the stun bar up, helping out with the attribute anomaly in terms of the lightning damage, because it doesn't have to be a different element, it just has to be an attribute anomaly, which works with shock. Being able to string all of these hits together is going to give you a massive amount of damage if you start stringing these all together, because that way you're able to get not only that crit rate damage bonus, or that crit rate bonus, that crit damage bonus, and also looking at the damage bonus he gets when it comes to working with a stun or anomaly character if you are hitting a stunned enemy, or you're hitting an enemy under an attribute anomaly, which is going to give him that nasty amount of damage bonus, which is 40%, which is absolutely disgusting. And this happens for as long as they're stunned, and also for as long as they have the attribute anomaly on, which means he has this basically permanently up for taking use of what's inside his kit. You do not want to just mindlessly run around with Harumasa and only use his 5th basic attack to be able to spawn in these arrows, because you're not going to get any damage off of it. What you really want to do is use all the things we talked about before in basically getting all these attribute anomalies up and being able to spam as many ways as possible in getting these 6 arrows that come out of the ground. Like where we have here, we're building up fire anomaly. That's a full 6 that's coming out after we, of course, that's a dash attack there. I was trying to use multiple dashes right there, but you get the gist. There's the disorder, that's a dash. I wish I had the chain attack because we would have got the 6, but you understand it by now. There's a bunch of different ways to work around building up Harumasa's kit, building up Harumasa's damage, and it's just crazy the amount of possibilities we can look at in the future. And he puts out some nasty damage too, if you look at this showcase I'm showing you in the video that's playing at the current moment. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video when it comes to talking about Harumasa. Hopefully this clarifies a little bit and teaching you how to play him. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.